Hey everyone, a lot of disappointment today because Ehang did not file its audited 20-F form on time. But is this such a big issue for us investors? I will answer this question in this video. You don't need to worry about Ehang getting delisted. Investing with Cam did very well covered this topic in this video up here. I will also discuss the CAAC development and the comparison to Lilium and Volocopter in this video because there are some concerns about the recent developments with Ehang competitors. But first of all, welcome to High School Dropout's Advice. If you need subtitles, click on the subtitle button right here. If you want to join my Discord channel, you can do this through Patreon. If you notice my Ehang designer shirt, please give me a like and let me know in the comments if you like the design. The Ehang stock opened with around $20 and made some gains actually, but it ended below the previous close in the aftermarket. We are trading with a market cap of just 1.17 billion, which is quite cheap at the current stage when you compare Ehang with Archer and Joby Aviation. If you want to buy stocks and need a brokerage account, or you want a second brokerage account, I can recommend you Webull. You can also use Webull to trade cryptocurrencies like Dogecoin, Bitcoin and Ethereum. You would also get 4 free stocks up to $1,850 per stock when you deposit at least $100. I think the lowest amount I got from the free stocks was $8 per stock, so that you would get at least $32 absolutely for free. I will also get 1-2 stocks which will help me to pay for my video editors. You can find the link down below in the description. I guess many of you are familiar with the SEC report page of Ehang. We can see that there hasn't been an update yet. This is what freaks many investors out. Let me show you this tweet on Reddit. So filing late is not something we need to panic about, but it won't help improve investors' trust. This is for sure. There are several sources which would give Ehang more time to comply. Nasdaq could give them an extra 180 days, as you can see here. We also have the source saying that the deadline is on July the 1st because of the COVID extension from last year. I don't think this is accurate, and I will show you why other companies that also filed the NT20 forms already filed, just for comparison. Anyways, no matter where you go, you will see comments like this. People are saying Ehang lied, F Ehang, they are disappointed, and more hate is around. I can understand the frustration among retail investors because what happened did not improve trust in Ehang. On the other hand, we see more and more institutional investors reporting that they are holding Ehang stocks. All investors need to understand that the yearly report has to get audited by a third party. The SEC requires publicly traded companies to provide GAAP compliant audited financial statements. We have to understand that this is the first year of fulfilling for Ehang, and their CPA and auditing company they hired are maybe not used to their business structure, products and numbers. So all those numbers need to be gathered and explained. Ehang is active in Europe, Scandinavia, Mexico, so there are many countries and offices which might still be affected by COVID, which can delay the auditing process. Let us have a quick look at this list. This list was generated by Jay Cruz, one active researcher on Ehang on Twitter. As you can see from the list, many companies have filed the NT20-F form. Let us check how many filed within the 15 calendar days time frame. I just checked a few. We see China Customer Relations Center filed on May the 3rd, and delivered their 20F on the 17th. Here we have Mingzhou Logistic, who looks like is going to be late because they didn't file yet. Silicon Motion made it in time. Nissan was late but also filed the NT20F and delivered it on the same day. Magic Software Enterprises delivered it about 10 days after the filing. So it looks like Ehang is late and it could not fill on time during the extension. Filing late is usually not a big deal, and not being able to file during the extension and filing during the deadline will not result in a delisting of the company. For us investors, it's not an ideal situation to be in, but it won't break the company if this happens on rare occasions. If it happens too often, the Nasdaq can delist them, but even if they are delisted, you still can trade the shares. Now, let us be honest. I think that most retail investors would not care about the late filing if their investment was positive. Most of the retail investors are on Steam because of the development of the stock and their investment. And on top of all this, Ehang has problems covering some basics. I can understand frustration, but when you invest in small growth companies, this is what you have signed up for. If this is too stressful to handle, I can recommend the SP500. The SP500 or any other index funds will give you quite predictable 10% each year. And this is statistically more than 90% of all investors make. So it's not wrong to invest in something which is more stable and not so nerve-wracking like a small growth stock like Ehang. An investment should not give you sleepless nights and additional stress. It's not like being in a casino. I was invested in NIO in 2019 and I know what to expect. I can only suggest the newer investors out there only to put the money in stocks they feel comfortable losing entirely. Then I can recommend not just to buy one stock, but buy around 10 stocks. If you want to go heavy on them, then I advise you to be in 6 to 10 different industries. I recommend that the third thing is don't have short-term targets for a stock and don't focus on details. The short-term target will most likely result in disappointment and lose more money of your investment. Focus on just the fundamentals. Many newer investors are so focused and obsessed with one or two details, like this delayed audit, that they forget all the other fundamentals. I ran several businesses and I can say from experience that not everything will go smooth even if you want to. And I observed that many other business owners who are like too focused in micromanaging their business won't make it far. The same applies to investment. Keep the big picture in your head. Don't let small things stop your dream. If your toddler is learning to walk, you won't give up on it when it falls a couple of times. You will have the patience to wait until it succeeds. The same is with investments. I have several investments where I'm heavily invested and I only need one to do well to retire comfortably as a multimillionaire in 10 to 20 years. This is all it takes, having a big picture. Becoming a multimillionaire within 20 years, starting with nothing, is 99% doable. But so many people try to double, triple, and then quadruple their money within 1 year by jumping from stock to stock. The success rate for that is less than 1%. And the likelihood that he can repeat it next year is also 1%. In other words, the likelihood he loses everything next year is 99%. You remember Warren Buffett. He holds his stock for decades and he's one of the richest. So let me show you more fundamentals. The EASA is preparing the certification requirements in Europe. The EASA is like the FAA in the United States and the CAAC in China. You see that Lilium and Volocopter are targeting commercial flights in 2023 and 2024, hoping that the EASA will allow them some local exemptions. This article also mentions Ehang. You see that they say that the EH216 might get fully certified by the CAAC in late 2021 or 2022. And please remember, this would be a fully certified and not just exemption. They also mentioned that the CAAC is working very closely with Ehang. In other words, the government is supporting Ehang to be successful. Now I want to show you this. Joby Aviation. You see that Joby Aviation stock has not much movements at all. The same applies to Archer. If you watch into the stock market, you will see NIO, Tesla and countless other growth stocks are tanking. Cryptocurrency is correcting as well, so seeing the overall picture, Ehang is not doing so bad. So overall, we are not in an ideal situation, but we shouldn't be too worried. I honestly don't think that Ehang is a scam, because there are just too many developments going on, and the fact that they don't try to make the numbers look good and don't try to please the investors but focus on their product should tell you that they are legit. Remember, the stock price is not the company, and the company is not the stock price. I can only show you my t-shirt again. If you like my Ehang design shirt, let me know in the comments below. I still think I need to use better ink. Saving the 33 cents was not quite worth it. Anyways, for legal reasons, let me tell you that I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy on YouTube. Please remember to do your own due diligence and hire a financial advisor if necessary. Please like, share and subscribe to my video when you don't want to miss out any new stock information or investment opportunity. Thank you so much and see you hopefully in the next video. Thank you, bye.